Miss Lisa, and I want to say thank you for coming back for part two. Last week you shared a lot about navigating homelessness and recovering from a mystery illness
Yes.
and excelling to school while you were managing a disability and building a support system. And I just wanted to ask you, how would you describe the journey you're on now? And what would you want people to truly understand about what it takes to just keep going?
Okay, good question. Um, so for me, this journey has been nothing short of transformational, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It's been a battle for my health, my dignity, my future. I went from being healthy, independent, and stable to facing a medical crisis that left me with neuropathy and blurred vision. Um, that was the first domino to fall for me. And then everything started to unravel. Verbal abuse forced me and my son out of our home. I wasn't bouncing around from shelter to shelter. I was calling the intake line every single day, only to be told that shelters were full every single day. And through all of that uncertainty, I was still trying to maintain some sense of normalcy for my son, right? Like I wanted him to, right, still feel like life could keep moving forward, even when everything around us basically was standing still.
Yeah, that unfamiliar, being in an unfamiliar place.
Exactly, and not knowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember nights that I would lay awake in again unfamiliar places, like on sometimes on a couch, sometimes wherever I could find shelter. And my son wasn't with me during that time because as a mom, you want to make sure that his that he's stable or where he's staying is secured. So I made sure that he was taken care of in that sense, bearing the weight on my own. Um, and what kept me going was the sound of his voice when he would call, his laughter, and you've heard his laughter.
He's got a great laugh.
He's got that belly roll laugh.
Yeah.
And like the memory of his hugs, stuff like that, kept me going. Um, what I really want people to understand is that resilience isn't about being fearless. It's about continuing on despite the fear. It's not glamorous. It's far from it. It's showing up, breaking down, getting back up, and trusting that even broken pieces can build something whole. For me, it's been grace, grit, and divine guidance every step of the way. And if you'd like to support me on my journey directly, consider funding my GoFundMe. Every little bit helps to keep me moving forward. And thank you for being part of my story thus far.
Well, yeah, because you're at a point now where you're trying to get rehoused, and I know that that can be a struggle because it's not just getting first and last month's rent together; it's first, last, and next.
Yes.
And that can be a hurdle. So I really definitely encourage folks to help you on your journey by. We'll put a link up about your GoFundMe in on our page.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the fact that you've been so transparent about everything, and I just have to say, like a 3.97 GPA, while couch surfing, managing disability, raising a teenager, being like out there,
Right.
like Mprss. I bet you it took everything you had.
It did. It did, absolutely. Mentally, I had to shut out the voices, like the internal and external. The ones that told me that I didn't belong, like I'm too old to be in school right now, right? That one. Or that I couldn't succeed while being unhoused, raising a child, and managing a new disability. This is not something I had all my life. This is something new that I went into with and being in school too. Um, that I didn't have what it takes, and I needed to be incredibly intentional with my time, carrying out studying hours in places, and I couldn't find, or sorry, places I could find Wi-Fi. Is what I'm trying to say. Hotspots with my phone, right,
Right.
and a struggling student understand what that means with finding Wi-Fi and hotspotting, um, just to stay on top of schoolwork. Physically, I was battling constant fatigue, blurred vision, and nerve pain while doing all of this. I used assistive devices to help read and type, and pushed myself with small exercises. Now, let's be clear, not to get fit or anything. Okay, I'm not a bodybuilder, but to try to stimulate like the nerve regeneration kind of deal.
I've seen you over the last couple of months just really change. Like you're doing stairs now
Yes,
with your cane. Up
yes.
you go. That's rocking.
And like the last time you saw me when I came down, I had the walker, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
so there's movement, right? So the little bit of exercises that I'm doing counts.
Absolutely. And with the support system you have from your mom and your faith and girlfriends like me and Kimmy and all the rest of them. And let's talk about Chavez.
Oh, okay, Chavez. Oh, my Chavez. So, my support system has been literally my saving grace. I mean, I literally mean that with everything. My son has been one of my biggest motivators. And I have to explain the story so everybody can get the back view. But when I went back to get my GED, which I did last year, um, thank you. When I went to get my GED,
Yay!
he was cheering for me I was at the Olympics. Like seriously though, like I got the paper, I exited the building, I showed him I got it, and he was like honking the horn. He was freaking out. Like we drove off, and he was yelling at the window. He's like, "My mom got her GED." The poor lady on the road, she didn't know what was happening, but it was good, right? So um, and then I have people like my girlfriend crew, like my girlfriendly crew. Those are the ones who prayed for me through the hard times. Um, they had my back. Even had a friend of mine house me during her own financial crisis, right? For as
Mm,
long as she could.
that's love.
That
Yeah.
is love. So
Yep.
that support, knowing that I have that there, was my saving grace.
Mm-mm.
And again, if you want to support my journey, my GoFundMe, I know we'll put up the link. Thank you, Maria, for that. Thank
Yeah.
you, Nate, when we get the laptop back.
Oh, I put the link to your YouTube in the show notes.
Perfect.
People
And
can find you there.
they can, absolutely.
So tell us again what went on with Chavez because I really like the fact that he has been part of all this.
So Chavez for me is my like competitor buddy, and I can't say he's gonna hate that I said competitor because he's like, no, we support each other, we hold each other accountable. But to me, he made it kind of like a sport, right? Like he made school fun and entertaining. Like, oh, what'd you get? What did you get? Oh well, oh, okay. Oh, man, he got a A-. Oh well, I got an A+. Okay, I beat him on that one. So it's like stuff like that to keep school fun. And again, super supportive, super fun, super helpful. He's a good guy.
And sometimes that's what you need. You need that support, that friendly competition to help push you to do a little bit more. Just a little bit. What I love is that you're studying in the social services field,
Right.
and I think you'll make an absolute excellent social worker because not only of the life that you've lived, but because you have the right personality to really be empathetic. I guess is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, I will agree with you on that one. I
Yeah.
I have lived experience. I guess that would probably be what we're trying to pin down here. I have lived experience has been my foundation. I didn't just learn about the system, I lived through it.
Yeah.
I've moved around constantly. I've waited in line for food at food banks. I have couch served. I still
Mm-hmm.
tried to keep my son's life feeling somewhat normal. I face the kinds of roadblocks that textbooks can't teach you. There is no way a textbook can teach you what I've been through. The delays, the discrimination, the disconnection. I've navigated systems that aren't built for people like me and still managed to show up and show out. Um, that's why social work isn't just a job for me. I'm not entering the field because it looks good on paper. That's not what I'm here for. I'm stepping into it because I know the urgency of this work, especially with everything going on in the world, right? I felt it in my bones. I want to be a social worker who sees people fully, who brings compassion without condensation, advocacy with real world understanding, and solutions that reflect the truth of what families like mine face every day.
That is so good. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that's going to be helpful for our some of our students and of our listeners because it deals with the question about placement. So, securing a placement for students in their second year can be stressful and offer uh, uh, limited timing support. Like opportunities are not always there.
Right.
And what has your experience been navigating that process? And what do you think they need to do to like improve all this? Because I've been watching you. Um, did you get a placement? Are you?
I did. I did end up securing placement, but again, just like you're saying, it's like the time to get everything done before certain deadlines because you have forms to have to go in. It's a lot. So, placement is one of those things that sounds manageable on paper, but in real time, it's incredibly challenging, especially for students like me juggling multiple life responsibilities. The good. So, placement is an opportunity to take everything you've learned about into action and put it into action. Sorry. It's a door into the field to change, a chance to build real connections and develop skills you primarily can't get from textbook. When it works well, it's empowering. Now the bad. A lot of the responsibility is put on the students to find their own placements, but we're expected to do this at the end of the semester, after finals, after burnout has set in, and while competing with students from other colleges and universities for the same limited space. It's like unreal. So, the easy part of it, honestly, to be real, there's nothing easy about it. Unless you're lucky enough to have like personal connections or inside access, even the process of sending emails and making phone calls is basically a full time job. And most students don't realize how important the follow up part is. Um, and miss out on amazing opportunities. Okay, so my next point that I wanted to talk about was the ugly part of placement. So, um, for me, weeks of class time get spent talking about what placement will look like, reviewing resumes, hypothetical scenarios, blah blah blah. Students understand what I'm saying when I talk about that. Um, but at the same time, to me, it could have been used to let students actually secure placements. Um, if we were given structure and space earlier in the year to apply, follow up, and confirm, it would relieve so much pressure. It's not just about finding a site, it's about protecting our mental health, meeting deadlines, and stepping confidently into our futures. So,
Big difference.
Major.
Big difference.
Major.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. I
That's
get
what
that.
we need.
When I was studying the events management program, um, we weren't really told anything about, oh, you're gonna have to go play, get a plate, until near the end, and I was like, well, wait a second, I would have applied for that a lot sooner had I known.
Right? Like they tell us about it and they prep us for it, and then at the end of the school year, good luck.
Get on that. Get on that. Okay. Well, you've been clear about the financial stress and the lack of safe and stable housing.
Yes.
Is delaying your health, your healing, your independence. What would now, having been a woman that's been through homelessness before, what was the term you used again? You're unhoused.
Unhoused. That's
unhoused.
the term now.
I like that. Unhoused. I was unhoused, and I mean, I was lucky enough to find myself a housing cooperative that I was able to join and become a member of and do stuff. So that was awesome for me. But the reality is, with the number of homes that have closed for women, and the number of ice rinks that now have beds in them for us to have as our, shelter system.
Yep.
It's not really great. No, not really great.
It's not.
But so tell me, what kind of support would make the biggest impact right now?
For me, what I need right now, or what we need right now, is stability. Physically, financially, and emotionally. I've already missed nearly a year of physiotherapy because support workers aren't allowed into shelters. So, right? So it's hard to set appointments when you're not in one place long enough for someone to follow through. That alone is slowing down my ability to walk independently again, which is low-key making me nervous, right? Because it's huge. I'm watching my body weaken when I know with the right care, I could be so much stronger. Financially, the weight's getting heavier. I'm trying to focus on school, keep up with the responsibilities, and fight for my healing. But basic survival costs are crushing. I need help with stable housing, food, transportation, which is huge because being disabled and having poor vision, it's not like you can just jump on the bus and know where you're going. It's hard to see. Like I understand that there's help out there, but transportation and stuff like that.
And going from being a person who
drove everywhere,
to like all of a sudden
needing the help. Like I need that help, and staying in school, and without being able to pay down credit cards that have been maxed out, and just using those just to get by, it's becoming harder and harder to secure a place in my name. So my credit being chipped away by circumstances, not choices, and that puts long-term independence at risk, which again scares me. Coming from that point of being able to be financially secure to now, what is happening with my credit? Right.
That's a biggie.
So that's why I've created a GoFundMe, not for pity, but for partnership. If even a few people donated $50, it could change my month. Like seriously, change my month. It gives me breathing room. It gives me a chance to focus on my healing, rebuilding, and finally moving forward. So, if you've ever rooted for an underdog with a vision and a fight, I'm right here.
You are right here, and we love you for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you came in, and 2 times. 2 times.
2 times, y'all. 2 times.